Hello, my name is Sharon Fuller Barnes, and I work for the magnificent U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I hold a dual role with our agency. I work for the Southwest region as a workforce recruiter, and then I work for the Southeast region in refuges as the student and youth program coordinator. And so I'm very, very passionate about my career. To tell you a little bit about my journey, started in Austin, Texas. I'm born and raised in Austin, Texas, so keep Austin weird. And you know, I really from an early age had just a desire to know more about conservation, love to be outdoors, and actually one of the individuals that really inspired me in wanting to know more about nature and outdoors is my big mama, which some people call grandmother, but we called her Big Mama. And she has a farm in East Texas, and so every summer until she passed away, I was able to go and visit with her. And you know, really she would put me to work, and so I was feeding the chickens and, you know, always outside, you know, picking collard greens out of the garden. And so it just really inspired me to just want to know more about the natural world. And so yeah, Big Mama was a very big inspiration. And so while I was in high school, I thought, you know, I wanted to be a veterinarian. That was definitely something I was like, oh, well, you know, that is at least, you know, animals. But as I started to look more into college, I started to look at, you know, other career fields that I could go into. And Texas Tech University had a degree in wildlife management. So I decided to go to Texas Tech, move to Lubbock, you know, pursue that degree. And while I was there, I found out about a program where you work full-time, you know, while you're in school, you gain hands-on experience, and then you get a job. And of course, I'm talking about what was known as the SCEP program at that time. There was a recruiter that actually came out and mentioned the program to me. I signed up for the SCEP program, and I started my journey with the service, which is now over 15 years ago. So my first internship was at Bosque del Apache National Wildlife Refuge in Socorro, New Mexico. Learned a lot about field work, you know, the longevity of it, and making sure that you have very, very exact data that you're collecting. Great opportunity, great chance to see that part of the United States. Then I figured out that I'd love to go to the Southeast region. I always loved to work and live in Florida. So I had a chance to go to ARM, Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge. Learned a lot about management, you know, there, and it was a great opportunity. At that time, I was almost done with my undergraduate degree and had to decide what was next, which is and still is, you know, for a lot of people, kind of that challenging question. And so I decided to continue on my education and get a degree in human dimensions and wildlife management from Mississippi State. And with that, I was able to stay in the SCEP program, and I was able to go to another fantastic refuge, and that's J.N. Dang Darling National Wildlife Refuge on Sanibel Island in Florida. And this is where I found some of my niche, and that was working with youth. So I did a lot of outreach, education, you know, out in the local community a lot. And this is where I found out, okay, I like talking to people. I have this biology background, but this people interaction was really fueling me. And so was there for 2 years. Then it was my SCEP was up, and it was real world type of opportunities now. So I was able to be stationed at in Monroe, Louisiana at Black Bayou Lake National Wildlife Refuge. And although I was the assistant refuge manager, I had an opportunity to continue with education and outreach, and really, you know, just a lot of the managerial duties as well. And so, you know, at this point, I wanted to know more about policy, wanted to know more about budgets, and just the big picture for our agency. So I decided the regional office experience was something that I wanted to do at that point. And so I was able to go to Atlanta, Georgia, and work in our regional office in visitor services for a few years. Really was able to really take in that opportunity and just learn so many facets of our agency, of the National Wildlife Refuge System, and of the other programs that we have within our agency. From there, I had a great opportunity to come back a little bit closer to home and work now for both regions. And so have really enjoyed my journey so far, and it's just been a great experience. How do I feel like I got where I am today? One of the main things that I would recommend and give advice to a young person on is that if you have a passion, if it is your goal to work in conservation, to find your niche, you definitely have to try out a lot of different aspects, getting that hands-on experience. And it's really going to help you because the conservation journey isn't just a straight and narrow. There's so many facets to conservation. So one thing that I've really learned is that as you do more and more, you find out what you really don't want to do. But it's going to ultimately lead you into some of the great things that you aspire to do. And what you're great at. So just, stay with your passion. It is very competitive field, but you have to continue to embrace it as much as you can. We need you. We need the diversity of opinions, of ideas, and we just need everybody to understand that this is our environment, this is our world, and we all have a role in at least appreciating our world and taking care of it for future generations. What does it mean to be an African American in the wildlife conservation world? So I think being an African American in this career field, working for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, it can be challenging because you don't see very many people that look like you, that maybe have your same cultural background, and you have to really embrace that. The fact that you may be a pioneer in a sense, but it's okay. It's a great opportunity to open up a lot of your colleagues and a lot of younger people that are coming behind you to that opportunity. So it's a great way to look at how I mentioned how our world is changing and how we need to continue to embrace it. So, not necessarily always looking at the differences, but, in how we are the same. And then just making sure that in the future, our agency is more representative of the communities that we serve. And so that is my task, that is my charge until I retire. I have a long time to go, and I still have a long journey along the way, but I'm up for it, and that's why I'm bringing the best resource that I can, and that is the younger generation, and involving them, engaging them, and employing them with our agency.